So, Space Invaders and first-person shooter? Really? Well, yes. I've been looking for strange ideas because maybe they'll be interesting and
irrelevant.
whatever. Anyways, let me explain. So, it's literally just going to be a first-person shooter, but Space Invaders theme. I sort of came up with this idea reading The Art of Game Design, literally the holy bible of game design. I read about a breakdown of Space Invaders and I just thought of giving it a first-person shooter touch to it. So, in my version of Space Invaders, it'll take place here. Just some cubes that I've put together. Just a city prototype. It's just for the meantime and a placeholder for the city playing environment for now, and quickly whipped up a nice simple spaceship prototype as well. And take a look at this first person view of the tweaked person controller. I don't know if you may have noticed, but there's actually a little delay to the camera, so it basically makes it feel a little bit more smooth moving around the player's view. And after that, I spawn a spaceship, but as you can tell, it does nothing. So I made this spaceship here, randomly moving in random directions, but it just didn't satisfy me. So I did this instead, set the force based off the direction where the waypoint is, and switches waypoints based off the current proximity. But it moved too unnatural and too NPC-ish. So I then did the actual path following algorithm, but it stops at the first waypoint. I didn't know what was a problem before, but made me think of this guy. This different take here still use the same path following algorithm, but I changed how the rigid body applies the force, and because of this, it traveled the path in a weird wave pattern moving up and down. This fourth take here, I was getting pretty frustrated, but was at least getting really close. What was the fucking was it ends up going to the wrong direction of the path and just...
Then he waddled away, waddle waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle waddle. Till the very next day, bum 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 ba-dum.
Okay, so last try here. I changed how the force was applied and fixed the direction the agent will follow by clamping the projection length, avoiding the negative direction or opposite direction, and then the spaceship would fly really fast, no problem, stay within around the path. And for fun, I spawned a bunch of spaceships just for the fucks and giggles to see how this would simulate, and they ran like a bunch of crazy bitches. And I've actually already updated the entire city to procedurally generated buildings. I made my own sets of building parts or building modules of different roofs, different windows based off these references I found. And in Godot, I programmed procedural buildings, which was just a parametric approach, meaning I just defined the dimension of the building, so the width, depth, and height, what color of the building will be, what walls and windows, what kind of roof. So now, you know what time it is. So like the white handymanny, I created a few different combination of buildings to then make a small city in a very simple approach here of making procedural cities. And here's a player's view of the updated city that's now procedurally generated, and also set a few random spaceships swarming around. So I'd really love to see some feedback from y'all in the comments below what y'all thought about this. And did a little quick thing here is which I created the yellow bullet in Godot and programmed FPS shooting here to see what it was like. So in Space Invaders, there's 4 invaders, but one of them is just a UFO, so let's just say three really for now. And I first chose to redesign the crab-like one, but the one I made here looks so stupid, so I designed the squid-like one instead, which was my best one, and modeled the design of the squid-like one in Blender, and in Godot created the IK kinematics for the tentacles, which they can do this. And here's the invaders spinning in circles, and the tentacles also being infected for the movements of the invaders. After working the spaceship wandering behavior, I thought I should start updating the spaceship, so I created a few spaceship sketches designs based off the UFO concepts next to the sketches I used for reference, and made this model in Blender. It didn't take too long to make, and I brought it to Godot And I don't know if you noticed, but it glows under the ship, which I thought it was a nice touch to it. And with the already programmed spaceship, I replaced the old spaceship's model with the new spaceship's models, as y'all can see. And instead of reusing the last weapon from the last FPS game, I wanted to design a new weapon that can match up the attack fire against the invaders. So after a few sketches, I modeled it in Blender, and a new, way better weapon also made this bullet. Instead, it's a plasma bullet, which is just the materials that's blue with emission. And then in free sounds, I found a sound effect that I thought would be perfect for the plasma weapon and set it up to Godot with some lights, so every time you shoot, it lights up.
Oh my god!
And here I just gave it a test and I thought it sounded pretty dope. It looked pretty dope. It lights up, and as you shoot, it has that same animation. So smash that like button if you like cool shit like this, like the plasma weapon, y'all. So please. And then I had to go tweak the invaders' tentacles, inertia behavior, so when the invaders is following you, you can tell the tentacles are being left behind, basically inertia to it. And when shooting them, they'll sometimes dodge the bullet. Also, the UFOs can spawn invaders. So I literally caused a swarm of invasion of space invaders. So I guess that's why they call it Space Invaders. And I also created a couple collectibles like the health kit to regenerate health and plasma cartridges to recharge the plasma weapon. And then Godot program an animation where they rotate around and floats up and down, inspired by Minecraft. And created the health bar and plasma bar UI to keep track how much health and plasma the player has. And we're programmed to the player, so as I do a little test here, the player receives damage accurately and the plasma bar goes down every time the player is shooting. And also added a feature where shooting at invaders, a little damage pop-up effect shows up, how much damage was done, and also a score UI to keep track of points, and also pop-up effect how many points are earned when killing the enemy. And you can take down a UFO, which I thought was a really cool thing because it gives it like an action feeling to the game. And then in Blender, I made this light pole here and a barrier for just some minor decorations to the city. Just make it feel like a city. Add some environments to it. So after most of what I just said here is a little bit of gameplay with no commentary, just some relaxing music in the background. So another first-person shooter that's Space Invaders theme with more mechanics and stuff, I guess, of course. So hopefully, maybe you learned something, or had a laugh, or you were entertained somehow. Just do me a little favor here, please. Smash that like button and destroy that fucking subscribe button. And hey, hopefully you come back for more fun shit like this.